Why do we see a pattern of discrimination, suppression, and prejudice against Black Africans? And even that pattern lingers to this day. What's the made-up hostility the white European and Arabs felt toward Black Africans? Historically speaking, it was due to the superiority the Black Africans have had since the start of civilization. Black Africans were the richest of the rich, living in gold cities and making the world jealous. That's where non-Black people, with an inferiority complex, decided to portray Black Africans as inferior. But how? Well, it was done by using their dark complexion, plump lips, and woolly hair. Yes, they felt a threat so striking that they declared Black Africans a backward, inferior race. All their struggle was to show how uncivilized Black Africans were so they could teach them how civilized people like them live. That's where the wicked journey against Black Africans started. Today, even if everyone stays silent, history speaks too loud to be avoided. But the real focus should be this question: why do non-Blacks see Black Africans as a threat? And why does this same feeling prevail even today? The first reason why non-Black felt threatened was Black Africans' physical superiority. Historically, and even today, Black people are the strongest humans on Earth. And this strength manifests itself in their physical charisma, which is hidden from nobody. Non-Blacks knew if Blacks were allowed to participate in their matters, they would eventually dominate what they held dear. Therefore, Blacks were left in the whirlpool of a new fabricated system. Non-Blacks, like the European colonizer, made it a social culture to enslave Blacks. Since they couldn't compete with Blacks in terms of strength, doing physical work was deemed inferior. Instead, someone who could do sophisticated jobs was considered civilized. And these civilized were then seen fit to be kings and rulers. Simply, Blacks were pulled out of the power equation. You see, non-Black changed the system which graded people. Physical superiority was deemed inferior as compared to being delicate and fragile, which was considered superior. Since European colonizers were weak and delicate themselves, they propagated this as a sign of delicacy. In the writing of Greek philosophers like Aristotle, it could be seen that he considered slaves as people born to be subjected. And don't forget, most enslaved people were Black in those days. Aristotle said that these slaves should work for their Greek masters so the masters could have leisure. Without any hesitation, Black people were considered lesser. Even different and brutal punishments were made for Black slaves because it was considered that enslaved people were less sensitive to pain. This takes us to the second reason for the threat, which is genetic annihilation.